Hello, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving straight into the thrilling, heart-stopping action of the 7th episode of our story, Heart of a Phoenix. This episode is titled A Not-So-Ordinary Girl, and trust me, it absolutely lives up to that name. We're dropping right into a terrifying life-or-death scenario where our protagonist, Ariana, is being pushed to her absolute physical and mental limits, high up in the sky. So let's jump right into the action. So we pick up the story with Ariana literally suspended in thin air. For this single agonizingly long second, the whole world goes completely silent and still as she whispers a quick prayer. And then she is free-falling through the roaring wind. Jagged rocks are just rushing up towards her at a terrifying speed. But here's the thing about Ariana. This isn't some careless, flailing fall. She had been watching the giant flaming cloud eagle do a barrel roll to avoid a sword strike, and she made these incredibly swift, precise mathematical calculations in her head. She intentionally released her grip on the bird's talon because she predicted its exact dive path. Just as her thoughts start to fizzle out and the wind makes her ears go numb, thump, she lands right onto the giant eagle's wreck with a totally bone-jarring thud. 0.1 seconds, guys. Ariana survived that brutal drop by a mere margin of 0.1 seconds. If she had been just a tenth of a second slower, there's no way around it. She would have been dead. Right now, she's broken, she's bloody, but man, she is fiercely thankful to be alive. And what exactly fuels this desperate, crazy will to survive? It's a burning fury and this intense craving for strength. She absolutely has to find the immortal spirit fruit, because only by refining the spirit restoration tonic can she regain her lost manifestation powers. She is completely determined to never be this weak again, but, well, to do that, she first has to survive the sky. And right now, survival means navigating the incredible threats swirling all around her. Now, you might be wondering, why doesn't she just ask the wildly powerful Crown Prince Warwick for help? Well, because to this unbelievably heartless prince, there are only two categories of human beings in the world. First, there are his people, like Jake Grace, who he will fiercely protect no matter what. And then there's literally everyone else. And Ariana, she falls firmly into the everyone else category. I mean, the guy's life motto is basically, save yourself or stop wasting your breath. If the giant eagle goes totally berserk fighting Warwick, Ariana knows for a fact she'll just end up as collateral damage. She's got to fend for herself here. So Ariana looks down to assess the terrain, and it is a terrifying landscape below, the frozen forest. It's this nightmare terrain made up of 5 concentric rings, with a seriously formidable, intimidating ruler living right in the absolute center. But remember, Ariana hasn't just wandered in blindly here. In her quest for that immortal spirit fruit, she painstakingly memorized every single shred of information she could find about this forest. High up in the sky, she looks around and recognizes they are flying directly above the eastern region of the 4th ring. Drawing on that mental map she built, she immediately begins to formulate a really desperate, high-stakes survival strategy. Knowing she absolutely cannot rely on the prince, it looks like the lamb is going to have to strike a deal with the wolf. Despite her total physical exhaustion, Ariana drags herself toward the panicked eagle's giant ear. She yells out that if the eagle tries to fight the demigod-level prince, it will definitely perish, so they should just team up. Well, the eagle, who is utterly terrified of Warwick, but still incredibly proud, just scoffs at her. Join forces? What good can you do me? It demands with complete contempt. To this massive, magical beast, Ariana is just some powerless, ordinary human girl in a really sorry state. But Ariana has a trump card. She tells the giant bird, I might not have spiritual energy, but I know what his weakness is. Talk about a tense mid-air negotiation, right? Ariana is leveraging her pure intellect against a terrifying beast, offering in a way to stall the immensely powerful prince. She manages to secure a promise from the eagle that it won't eat her if she helps it get away. It's pretty wild. Such is the pathetic lot of someone without manifestation powers. You literally have to negotiate for your life with a giant bird. But it just proves that Ariana's sharp mind is by far her greatest weapon. Okay, so what is that bizarre vulnerability she exploits? Well, it is brilliantly simple. Prince Warwick is a massive neat freak. Ariana had noticed the eagle drooling earlier and formulated this incredibly gross but highly effective plan. Just as Warwick charges in with his earth-shaking spiritual essence circling his fist, the eagle unleashes a massive, gloopy, wet torrent of white phlegm right at the impeccably poised prince. I know, disgusting. But through this absolute downpour of foul slime, Warwick's handsome face cycles from confusion to absolute disgust to sheer fury. His movements turn completely stiff and he actually falls back, stalling his whole attack out of sheer revulsion. With the prince temporarily stunned by the gross-out tactic, the eagle turns and flees, pushing its speed to the absolute limit. Ariana is now acting as the bird's personal navigator, riding right inside its cavernous right ear. She adopts this rapid, energetic pace, just barking out navigation commands. 10 o'clock, lower your height, forward, faster. And because our first suggestion worked so remarkably well, the giant flaming cloud eagle actually starts to trust her instructions. It's acting as the muscle to her brain as they desperately try to outrun a furious demigod. But the danger is far from over. Ariana tightly clenches her fist as they begin a truly terrifying descent. 10,000 feet! They're hurtling through the sky, aiming straight toward a massive cliff and a roaring waterfall down below. The wind is just whipping around them as the eagle goes full throttle. 5,000 feet! The tension is literally escalating by the millisecond here. The ground and those rushing waters of the frozen forest are coming up to meet them at blinding speed. Ariana is holding on for dear life inside the ear of this massive beast, calculating every single fraction of their rapid descent. 3,000 feet! They hit their lowest altitude yet. They are so close, almost at the waterfall, over the cliff. The escape plan is nearly complete. But just as they reach this crucial marker, the treacherous eagle makes a sudden, totally shocking move against its tiny human navigator. Talk about betrayal. Out of nowhere, the eagle suddenly yanks Ariana right out of its ear and tosses her toward its drooling, open jaws. Literally like someone tossing a peanut into their mouth at a baseball game. Why? Well, because the bird's twisted logic is that since she is so smart, eating her brain will probably make it smarter too. Even as the giant eagle complains that she's all bones and will probably choke it, it still completely goes back on its word before they're even fully out of danger. But Ariana is never, ever defenseless. As she is hurtling right toward the bird's gaping maw, she executes a darkstone counterattack. She rips the absolute largest darkstone from her dragon and phoenix spirit ring and just hurls it with all her might straight into the back of the beast's throat. The bird involuntarily snaps its beak shut, letting out this massive hiccup that would probably register on the Richter scale. And using that exact millisecond of confusion, Ariana crash lands onto its nose and scrambles safely back up to its forehead, shouting, "You piece of bird shit!" Now, she purposely starts this loud argument with the bird, but guess what? It's actually a highly calculated distraction. Because time has officially run out. Warwick has caught up. 3 seconds to strike. The black-clad prince charges across the sky like a missile. 2 seconds to strike. Cold, merciless energy builds up as he violently slashes his sword down, aiming right for the eagle's wing. 1 second to strike. The eagle's wing is severed, blood gushes everywhere, and the giant bird begins to plummet. But Ariana? She's already moving. At exactly 100 feet above the ground, having used that fake argument to perfectly position herself, she lets out a breath and leaps from the falling bird.
And this right here is where we see the absolute genius of Ariana's mind. As she falls, she nimbly wraps her arms around her bent knees and tucks her head in, curling into a tiny ball. She is processing terrifying, complex variables in real time: height, speed, wind direction, gravity, force of impact, and cliff angle. And it pays off. She lands perfectly in the waterfall exactly where the cliff ends at an angle, utilizing the rushing water and the slope to entirely offset the otherwise deadly force of the impact. The current then safely washes her down into the bubbling lake below, a truly flawless escape.
Watching all of this unfold from above, Prince Warwick, a guy who is usually entirely nonchalant and emotionless about everything, experiences a rare, genuine flicker of surprise. He knows that if even one tiny variable in her calculation had gone wrong, she would have died on impact. He never in a million years expected to see such perfect calculation and raw survival instincts from a seemingly powerless girl with zero spiritual essence. It literally leaves him staring after her, with a single powerful question echoing in his mind: who was she? And that concludes today's epic escape. If you like this story, please like and share it, and subscribe to the channel to watch future episodes. Thanks for watching.